everyone, welcome back to GK Today. I am Swachhata and in this video we'll cover the current affairs. Before we move ahead, let me inform you that these questions are part of our Daily 20 MCQ series 2022 in the GK Today's Android application. So if you are looking for the text version of these questions and their explanations along with the interactive quiz, you may consider joining our Daily 20 MCQ series in the GK Today Android application. In this course in app, you get daily 20 MCQs, a fortnightly quiz, a monthly revision document, and also category-wise revision e-books that are optimized for reading on mobile. You are also able to access all archives of questions from January 2020 onwards. And let me tell you one more thing. If you want the Hindi version of this session, you can refer to our former channel named as GK Today. The link has been given in the description box from where you can reach to. So without taking much of your time, let's get started. Good morning everyone. Welcome back to GK Today. And today we'll be discussing most important MCQs for 2nd of February 2022. Starting with very first question, which union ministry launched the Swachhata Startup Challenge? So Ministry of Housing and Urban Affairs launched the Swachhata Startup Challenge to encourage the innovative startups to transform the sanitation and waste management sector. And the challenge has been launched in partnership with Department of Promotion of Industry and Internal Trade. Okay, so it seeks to promote enterprise development under the Swachh Bharat Mission Urban 2.0. Fine. Now apart from it, Minister for Power Mr. R.K. Singh interacted with renewable energy developers, industry and various government representatives to discuss on the draft policy on the energy storage system. And the minister also indicated that people may be free to set up stand-alone energy storage systems. Fine. So the government has planned to de-license the setting up of those systems under the policy for energy storage systems. Okay. Also recently, Ministry of Culture has released the pictorial book titled as India's Women Unsung Heroes of Freedom Struggle, and this is launched as a part of Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav celebrations. Fine. So the ministry will release 3 pictorial books on 75 unsung heroes of the freedom struggle in partnership with Amar Chitra Katha, and the first among them, which was released, depicts the 20 women leaders whose contributions remain unknown. Okay. Now apart from all these things, the Coal Controllers Organization, which is a subordinate office under the Ministry of Coal, has released its flagship publications named as the Coal Directory of India 2022-21. So the statistical publication contains information on the performance of coal and the lignite sectors basically during the financial year 2022-21, and also it provides the grade-wise data of production and dispatch and reserves of coal. So the publication also provides information on the import, export and the prices of coal. Okay. So if you are asked that Coal Directory of India is a flagship publication released by which office of Coal Ministry, answer is Coal Controllers Organization. Question number 2. What is the other name of National Conference on Agriculture for the summer campaign? So this is called as ZAD Conference, and recently it was inaugurated via video conferencing. Okay. So the objective is to review the crop performance during the preceding crop seasons and fix the crop-wise targets for the next summer season in consultation with the state governments. Okay. Now as we know that there are 3 types of crops basically, Kharif, Rabi and Zaid. Okay. Talking about Kharif crops, these are sown during the monsoons and these crops are harvested at the end of the monsoon season. Okay. Example is paddy, rice, sugarcane, cotton, groundnut. Fine. And talking about Rabi crops, these are sown during the winters and they are harvested at the end of either March or April. Examples are mustard, wheat, gram, peas, almond. Okay. And Zaid crops are grown during the summer, means in between Rabi and Kharif crops. And the examples are cucumber and watermelon. Fine. Now apart from it, the government of India is to promote the use of drones in agriculture sector, and for this the Ministry of Agriculture and Farmer Welfare has amended the Sub-Mission on Agricultural Mechanization Scheme. So in this, farmer producer organizations will receive grants up to 75% of the drone cost for demonstration purpose. Then 6,000 rupees per hectare is to be provided to the agencies that hire the drones for the demonstration purpose. Okay. So these drones are to be used to apply the pesticides for the crop protection, and also it shall be used for spraying the crop nutrients and soil nutrients. Okay. Now apart from it, the government of India is working on creating a digital stack of agricultural data, means storing related to the farmers. And apart from the farmer details, the digital agri stack will also hold information about which seeds to buy, regarding weather updates, what manures and fertilizers to use, and the best agricultural practices to maximize the yield. Okay, and a lot more obviously. Now question number 3, when is the International Customs Day observed every year? So this day is observed every year on 26th of January across the world, with the United Nations as the host. So it recognizes the role of the customs officials and agencies in ensuring the flow of goods across the world borders, and the Customs Cooperation Council announced the observance of International Customs Day in the year 1953. So this was renamed as World Customs Organization in the year 1994. And the theme for this year was Scaling Up Customs Digital Transformation by Embracing a Data Culture and Building a Data Ecosystem. Okay, so this was the theme for this particular year. Now apart from it, the United Nations General Assembly designated 27th of January as International Holocaust Remembrance Day, or you can say International Day of Commemoration in memory of the victims of Holocaust. So it is an annual day of commemoration of 6 million Jewish Holocaust victims and millions of other victims of Nazism. And on this day, the United Nations urges every member state to develop educational program to help prevent the future genocides. Now 9th of January is celebrated as NRI Day, or you can say Pravasi Bharatiya Divas, because on this day Mahatma Gandhi returned to India from South Africa in the year 1915, and the theme for this year was contributing to Atmanirbhar Bharat. Then 6th of January is observed as World Day of War Orphans, and the theme for this year was caring for children in horrific situation is a responsibility. Okay. Also 12th of January is observed as National Youth Day, and the theme for this year was helps in the unification of the country's youth. Okay. Also we have seen that 15th of January is observed as Indian Army Day, and theme was service before self. Now you have to tell me, when do we observe the Global Family Day? Please write your answers in the comment section. Question number 4. Which country is the host of the 2022 Winter Olympics? So this is scheduled to take place from 4th to 20th of February 2022 in Beijing, China. And a report released by Sport Ecology Group and Save Our Winters has stated the dangers of artificial snow to be produced in the Olympics on athletes' bodies, and also it warned on water wastage that happens for the snow at these games. Okay. Now talking about China, the European Union has launched a case against China at the World Trade Organization over its forced practices against Lithuania and some exporters from other member states. So China, which is the European Union's main trade partner, started blocking the Lithuanian products and some other European goods that contained the Lithuanian components last December. And this was done after Taiwan opened a representative office in Vilnius, which is the capital of Lithuania. So this was done under the country's name instead of Taipei. Okay, so that's why China has started blocking the Lithuanian products. Okay. Now let's see some of the important things regarding China, why it was in news these days. First of all, it has recently built an artificial moon research facility to simulate low gravity environment using the magnetism. Also, China's artificial sun has set a new world record after superheating a loop of plasma to temperature which is 5 times hotter than the sun for more than 17 minutes. So the EAST, which stands for Experimental Advanced Superconducting Tokamak Nuclear Fusion Reactor, maintained a temperature of 158 million degree Fahrenheit, or you can say 70 million degrees Celsius, for nearly 1056 seconds. And they have smashed the previous record set by the France in the year 2003, where plasma in a coiling loop remained at similar temperature for just 390 seconds. Okay. Now, a few days back we have seen that Turkmenistan has recently ordered the experts to find a method to extinguish a fire in the Darwaza gas crater. It is also known as Gateway to Hell. Okay. Who's the president of this country? Gurbanguly, and capital is Ashgabat. Okay. Can you tell me what is the currency of Turkmenistan? Please answer me in the comments. Question number 5. Which state launched the Andhra Pradesh Seva Portal 2.0 Citizen Service Portal? Very obvious answer, it is Andhra Pradesh. So basically Chief Minister Y.S. Jagan Mohan Reddy has launched this portal to deliver the better services for the people, and the public can track the status of their application themselves without any hassle, and all the applications can be approved online, and the officials can provide certificates and documents online with digital signature. Fine. Now talking about Andhra Pradesh, the government of Andhra Pradesh has recently created 13 new districts, and these districts were created based on the parliamentary constituencies. So now with this, the total number of districts in Andhra Pradesh has increased to 26. And also last month we have seen that Nagaland has created 3 new districts, and now it has total 15 districts. Can you name them? Please let me know if you remember. Also, Andhra Pradesh has recently launched the Jagan Smart Township website, because most of the middle class families attempt to buy a house or land for building their own home, but they fall prey to the real estate agents sometimes and end up into a deal which is not economically sound. So this website will provide land with clear and litigation-free titles in a transparent manner, as well as it will provide the reasonable price below the non-profit market. Okay. So in the first phase, government has distributed 31 lakh houses to the middle class families so far, and the construction of 15.6 lakh houses have been undertaken in the first phase. Okay. Now you have to tell me SALT, which is related to Andhra Pradesh, stands for what? Question number 6. India has set up a $150 million venture capital fund in which country? So India Pavilion at Expo 2020 Dubai launched the $150 million fund, India UAE Venture Capital Fund in the UAE. So it is the first such fund to be set up in the country UAE, and the fund aims to invest and nurture the promising startups through an accelerator to fuel the growth of India UAE startups, and it will be funded by the investors across UAE, India and the GCC countries. Fine. Now talking about UAE, last month it has signed the 14 billion euros of agreement with France for 80 Rafale warplanes, and this is the biggest international order ever made for the Rafale jets. So under the deal, UAE is to buy 80 Rafale jets and 12 military helicopters. Okay. Also, India and UAE launched the Comprehensive Economic Partnership Agreement, that is CEPA, in September 2021. Actually, this is a kind of economic deal signed between India and UAE in the year 2017, and it is a kind of free trade pact. So as of March 2021, UAE was the third largest investor in India, and the major imports to India from UAE were petroleum products, stones, jewels and gems. Okay, and the major exports from India were precious metals, gems, minerals, etc. Okay, so now with this Comprehensive Economic Partnership Agreement, the bilateral trade is to increase by $100 billion within 5 years. Okay. Now also UAE was in news because recently it has announced its new working week of 4.5 days with Friday afternoon, Saturday and Sunday. So this forms the new weekend for the government employees. Hence UAE is the first nation in the world to introduce a national working week shorter than the global 5-day week. Okay. Now you have to tell me, last month 11th edition of exercise Kuvrin was held between which two countries? Question number 7. Which country is the top export destination of India's electronic goods in 2021? So India's exports of electronic goods touched $1.67 billion in December 2021 and it registered a growth of 33.99% over $1.25 billion seen in December 2020. So the overall exports of electronic goods in the last financial year was $11.11 billion. And the top 5 export destination of Indian electronic goods in April to November 2021 are: first is USA, second is UAE, third is China, fourth is Netherlands and last is Germany. Okay, so answer is USA. And the mobile phones form a major part of India's electronics goods sector exports. Okay. Now according to death penalty in India report, number of prisoners on death row was 488 at the end of 2021 and this number was highest since 2016 and also there was an increment of 21% from the year 2020. Okay. Now we have talked about the Transparency International earlier. Recently it has released the Corruption Perception Index. According to it, India ranked 85. Okay. Can you tell me the top 3 countries in this particular index? And in the previous lecture, we have seen that USA has recently unveiled the ambitious Competence Act of 2022. What does Competence stands for? It is creating opportunity for manufacturing, preeminence in technology and economic strength. Okay. So it proposed to open up new arenas for talented individuals from across the world with a new startup visa. And this will focus more on the semiconductor production there in the USA. Okay. You have to tell me who is the first black woman to appear in the US coin. Question number 8. Which neighboring country of India witnessed a record low growth of 0.93% in the last decade? So as per the results of Nepal's National Census 2021, the country's population has reached to a growth of mere 0.93% and this is also the lowest growth in the last 8 decades. And the population growth rate in Nepal is less than the average growth rate of the global population and this is due to the outward migration of Nepalis for jobs and studies. And in the last census 2011, the average population growth rate was 1.35%. Okay. Now talking about Nepal, it was also in news because India is actually currently widening the road to the Lipulekh Pass and the Nepalese ruling party recently issued a statement objecting this. And also Nepal has demanded India to withdraw its troops in the region. Not only this, Nepal also claimed the Lipulekh, Kalapani and Limpiadhura regions. Now let's see some of the important passes that might appear in your exam. First is Nathula, it is in Sikkim. Second is Shipki-La, it basically connects the Himachal Pradesh with Tibet. Then there is Jerepla, it connects Sikkim with Lhasa, which is the capital of Tibet. Next is Umlingla, it connects Leh to Pangong Lake. After that there is Khardungla Pass, it connects the Leh with Siachen Glacier. Okay. Now one important thing, do remember that Umlingla Pass is the highest motorable pass and Khardungla Pass is the second highest motorable pass. Okay. Then there is Lipulekh, it connects Uttarakhand with Tibet. After that it is Niti Pass which connects Uttarakhand with Tibet again. Then there is Rohtang. It is in Himachal Pradesh. Then there are few passes from Arunachal Pradesh, Difu, Dihang and Bomdila. These are from Arunachal Pradesh. Then there is Banihal Pass from Jammu Kashmir. And last is Zojila. It connects Srinagar with Kargil and Leh. Okay. Now you have to tell me in which state Pir Panjal Pass is located. Please answer me in the comments. Question number 9. Who is the author of the book titled as A Little Book of India celebrating 75 years of independence? So veteran author Ruskin Bond released his latest book named as A Little Book of India celebrating 75 years of independence. And he is an Indian author of British descent, and he has depicted the physical and spiritual attributes of India. And it is a record of some of the author's memories and impressions of the country. Okay. Also do remember that Ruskin Bond is the recipient of Sahitya Academy Award, Sahitya Academy's Bal Sahitya Puraskar, Padma Shri and Padma Bhushan. So these awards belong to Ruskin Bond. Now talking about some of the important books and authors, writer Dinyar Patel has recently won the prestigious Kamla Devi Chattopadhyay Book Prize 2021 for his book Nauroji, Pioneer of Indian Nationalism. Okay. Then Ban Ki-moon, who is the former United Nations Secretary General, and he served as the 8th Secretary General of United Nations for a 5-year term, that is from 2007 to 2016. Recently he released his autobiography named as Resolved, Uniting Nations in a Divided World. Okay. Then there is a book named as The Disruptor, How Vishwanath Pratap Singh Shook India. It has been authored by Mr. Debashish Mukherjee. Now who is Vishwanath Pratap Singh? He is actually the 8th Prime Minister of India, and this book is dedicated to him. Okay. Also to remember that Dr. Ajay Kumar has released a book named as Force in Statecraft, and he was India's Defense Secretary. One last book, The Cinema of Satyajit Ray. It has been authored by Bhaskar Chattopadhyay. Okay, so these are some of the important books and authors. Now coming to last question, the Sathyamangalam Tiger Reserve is located in which state? So this tiger reserve belongs to Tamil Nadu, and it has been awarded the prestigious TX2 award after its tiger number doubled since the year 2010. So STR is a protected area and tiger reserve in the Western Ghats in the Erode district of Tamil Nadu, and the reserve is a part of the Nilgiri biosphere landscape, which is the home to world's largest tiger population. And the awards are presented by Conservation Assured Tiger Standards, Global Tiger Forum, WWF and other stakeholders. Okay. Now Karnataka Health Minister Dr. K. Sudhakar has launched the Karnataka Brain Health Initiative, which is a first of its kind plan in India. So the plan has been undertaken by National Institute of Mental Health and Neurosciences in association with Niti Aayog. So under this new program, doctors will be trained in screening and treating the mental health patients. Now a total of 246 rebels from the Tiva Liberation Army and United Gorkha People's Organization formally surrendered and laid down arms in the state of Assam. So TLA was formed in the year 2014, while this was formed in 2007, and they deposited 277 types of arms, grenades and 720 rounds of ammunition. So as many as 462 former militants of 5 different terrorist outfits had surrendered last year in the state. Okay, so you can be asked that Tiva and Gorkha rebels have surrendered their arms and joined the mainstream in which state? Answer is Assam. Now let's start with today's quiz. Here on the slide you can see 5 questions which have been taken from the past 2-3 days current affairs. Pause the video and try to solve each of these questions, and at the end of the lecture do not forget to share your scores in the comment section. So please be honest and do not cheat with yourself. So that's it for today. I hope you have liked the session. These were the important news and events from today, and we will meet again tomorrow with some more important current affairs. Till then, stay tuned. Thank you so much for watching, and please do not forget to subscribe to GK Today. With this, Minu Zatsana signing off.